Alright, I'm Brandon.
I'm Jamie.
We're Madco Whitetails. We're going to talk about Jamie's buck he took last November. Piece of property that we hunt on. It's only about 20 acres and it sits right across. There's a little creek and then there's actually a golf course that sits on, and we're on the other side of the creek. And it's not huge property. It's only about 20 acres, like I said, but the bucks just filter right through this area. At this point, I had already shot both of my bucks for the year. I actually taken this buck October 5th, and then exactly 1 month later I took the top buck there on November 5th. So I was sticking behind the camera for the rest of the year, and Jamie had already shot one. He was looking for his next deer.
So it wasn't like a cool, crisp November morning. It was pretty warm, like probably 45, 50 degrees. And I mean, I had already killed a buck and he had already killed two. So we're feeling pretty good, and we're just kind of going just to go, essentially. And it's the rut, so you got to be out there. And first thing, I was just thinking we'd hit the horns together, just try to shake things up. So hit the horns together early. Didn't really do much. Had a button buck come in right to us. And I don't think we saw deer for about 2 hours after that. So as you can see, I am maybe 5 foot off the ground. I just got this climber from a buddy of mine, and I never used it before, but I've been using climbers my whole life. So I typically use Summits, and this was a lone wolf with a weird band around it, and I just wasn't a fan at all. I got about 10 foot up, and the bottom platform just fell out on me. This is in the dark, first thing in the morning. So I was able to get down, adjust everything, then go back up, got to the same point of the tree, and it fell down again. So I'm just sweating, mad, and frustrated, so I went down and I just got myself with the tree in front of where I thought the deer was going to come from, and I basically just stood all morning just on the bottom platform.
It was a little after 8 o'clock, and we hadn't seen anything for about an hour, and then heading south of us we saw about 5 does crossing the pipeline. We actually thought the bucks were going to come from our south to the north and come to us, and that's why Jamie was on that side of the tree. So at this point we weren't really too thrilled to see the does going to where we thought the bucks were going to be. We weren't exactly sure how we were going to pull the bucks out of there.
So after the does had moved south of us, I just grabbed the horns and hit them one more time just on a prayer. You know how it is when you hit the horns together, it's the anticipation's there, but you never really, it doesn't work that often. So I put the horns up, stuck my hands in my pockets, and just kind of stood there. And aimlessly looking around. Then I look down, and then 25 yards away, just one of the biggest deer I've ever seen that close to me, just storming in. So after I see him, I'm able to get my bow before he crosses the gas line where he's in the wide open. So I get my bow and I get it right in front of me, between me and the tree. And the only thing on the outside of the tree between me and him is my left eye. And he's marching right at my tree, on a line. And you see him in the video, he stops. It comes to a dead stop, and he is staring me right in my left eye. I don't know how, but he stared right at me, and I just didn't move. And you'll see, he just goes around and makes a fatal mistake.
As it kind of works out, you saw and you can see on the video, we're both on the right side of the tree. He came perfectly to where he couldn't see either of our bodies because we were both hidden behind the trees.
So he was only 11 yards, so I knew I made a perfect shot on him. So as you can see, I fist pump and everything, and then as you can see, I hit my stand back in the excitement of everything because I was so frustrated because I was 5 foot off the ground and you got this big buck standing there. It was all in the excitement. It was awesome.
We waited about 30 minutes to get down and try to find his arrow.
Yeah, we'd never found it. Still to this day, been out there a dozen times and still have not found it. It should be right there, but we found gray blood everywhere, and the rest is history.
Alright, so we got on a good blood trail, and the deer actually had went about 150 yards. He ended up going towards the creek, and then cut back towards us, and that's where we ended up finding them.
So that's the end of that video, but this year's looking to be just as good, if not better. There's bucks everywhere on our camera and seeing them driving around town. And it's just shaping up to be another great year. So we'll throw some trail cam pictures on the end here of what's to come this year.
And we actually got some new camera gear and some better setups too. They're going to allow us to take better films and show you guys some cool content.